Hello, I think I've got a great one for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at the AF-125. It's an RGB fan, comes in a couple colors. Let's take a look. First, a little bit of cross comparison. How does it, rank overall? So at time of creation of this presentation, it was ranked 44 in air cooler, right there, 20th in the case simulation, and 29th in CFM. For most recent data for actual ranking, I do recommend that you take a look at my best of videos. There should be one up in the December time frame, which is either going to be before, after, or around this one. Who knows? It's basically when I get around to videos making. Let's get into the performance. First, a little bit of spec information. Pretty much bog standard 120 millimeter class fan, RPM range 500 to 2000, pretty good. The airflow, static pressure, noise level. Let's get into it.
Before we get into the data, I would like to thank Mint Mobile for being today's video partner. Thanks to Mint Mobile's wireless plans, it is possible to not only switch away from big, expensive mobile companies, but to also have a quality, affordable plan for me and my family. Mint Mobile's premium wireless plan starts at just $15 a month for a 3-month plan. I can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. I can bring my own phone along and my current phone number, so you don't need to memorize a new phone number, something I have always found difficult. Switching to Mint is super easy thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones have. You can sign up and activate immediately right from your own phone from the comfort of your own home. If your phone doesn't have a digital eSIM card, Mint will ship you a new SIM card free of charge. And right now, new customers, Mint Mobile is offering 50% off their first 12 months of unlimited plan. It's the best deal of the year and only available a limited time. If you're interested in learning more about Mint Mobile and switching, visit my link or by clicking the link in the video description down below.
First test is the case simulation test. I took it at 4 key measurement locations, the 6, the 9, the 11, and the 14.5 inch marks. Each is representative for different size computer cases. The 6 inch mark being an ITX build, so I should note that all these are for assuming an air cooler focused build and a front to back type airflow. So the 6 mark, mini ITX, or putting fans at the bottom of your computer case and have them blow up towards your GPU, that sort of efficiency. The 9 inch mark, 220 millimeter class fans, compact tower, a case that can hold a standard ATX motherboard, but not a lot of extra room around that, so it'd be very tightly fit, pretty much like a media center PC. Then the 11 inch mark would be your standard mid towers, 320 millimeter class fans, and then at the 14.5 inch mark, truly large towers, something that can hold 340 millimeter class fans, around that size. We need something to compare this fan against, so I have my control fan as well as other fans of the same brand. I believe it's ID Cooling, and well, it competes very closely to my control fan noise normalized. So I mean, that is a great result. It's looking really good. That's exactly what I look for in case fans. At 100%, again, it's sticking right alongside it, and its noise level, it is noisier than my theoretical control fan, which is 3 parts A12X25 to 1 part A14, but it's close enough that it won't be egregious. It won't be too bad. The other ones are, well, a little bit noisier and, well, less performant. How does it compare against other fans? Well, it's pretty middle of the road. Matter of fact, in bigger cases, it's very middle of the road. In smaller ones, there are better options out there. It's a little bit on the low side, but it's not too far off the main path that I would consider it just bad. I would call it okay, pretty good by the time you get to the bigger cases. That's just my response to taking a look at the data points. But the very best here is like the TLS-12. It's hard to compete with. At 100% PDON fan signaling, well, here it's upper middle, then very middle straight up in the middle of the roads, which is a good result. It's a good place for a fan to sit. The TLS-12, the one that was top ranked in the previous sets, is kind of better, worse than it at 6 inches, about the same as it at 9, slightly better than the AF at 11 inches, and then they're tied again at 14.5. It's kind of a wash, I would say. They ending up as a net equal, you could say. Next, we're taking a look at the 9-inch mark, airspeed versus a decibel mark. And this same graph could be made at any of the data points, but the 9-inch mark was the one I chose because I needed consistent, high enough airspeed data. So it sits a little bit on the low side. It flattens out, particularly at 2, 3, 4, 5, around 60 to 70% pitot and fan signal, but then it kind of gains it back a little bit towards the high end. It's a little bit on the noisy side, but nothing, again, it's not too bad. It's a little bit bad, but not too bad, particularly if you don't need it cranked up to the maximum. It does much better at those lower RPMs.
I'm not sure how well it picks up on camera, but I hear a lot of motor sound with this fan, not just the sound of air rushing past. I'm going to put the microphone close to the middle and see if we can pick it up. So I hope that came through. I personally would find that a little bit of annoying, but if you're okay with it, then, well, then that's good. It might be a good choice.
Now we're looking at performance through a CPU air cooler, and at this time I'd like to thank my YouTube members and my Patrons. You guys are awesome. It is thanks to you guys that I was able to purchase a radiator to add a little bit of other testing. I hope to be able to purchase a test system here relatively soon, assuming my own personal economy recovers a little bit. Seen earlier video from, what was it, November 15th, I guess, for 2024 for that unpleasant news. Anyways, let's keep things a little bit positive. If you're looking for ways to support this channel, join me as a YouTube member, supers, or become a patron does go a long way. My 2 upper tiers of each of them does have access to my raw data, which I'll update periodically to get you the latest in fan information. So that's, I guess, a little bit of incentive to join the membership. I don't know. I'm not very good at advertising. So anyways, let's get back to the video. RPM versus airspeed. This is blade efficiency graph. RPM is horizontal, airspeed is vertical, and the AF lines up really close to the control fan. Beating it out ever so slightly, but basically in line with it. Pretty good overall. Next, we have airspeed versus that noise rating. And the AF underperforms compared to the control fan. Matter of fact, it's right in line with the other ID cooling fans. So let's keep things moving. How does it compare against other fans? Well, it's sitting below the Montech Metal, a little bit above the TLG12, which is a top value pick. So we're going to see the value a little bit later on. Well below the TLS12 and the noise normalized results. So it's bottom middle. It's okay kind of category. If it came on a cooler, it's probably perfectly fine to use. But if you want to upgrade it, there's plenty of better fans out there that won't break the bank. At 100% pitot and fan signal, basically the middle of the pack. Again, compare for its RPM, it does kind of just fine, sitting right in line with other fans. Maybe a little bit on the noisy side, but that's up to you to decide how noisy is too noisy. Airspeed versus that decibel rating. So bottom middle grouping, again, it just sort of sits at this group of being like, it's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's okay. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with that. It's up to you to decide where you want to spend your money. Now we're on to the scientific exercise that I call the CFM test. We have a tube, we have a fan, we slap the fan up against the tube, and boom, we have a CFM test. CFM test negates the how the fan tends to blow air off to the sides by focusing it all down the middle. Usually not particularly applicable for most computer case builds, but sometimes it can be. So it's more of a scientific exercise, generally speaking. So we got CFM versus RPM, again, blade efficiency. It's pretty close to the control fan, outperforming it in several key areas, actually. When we crank it up to, or move it over to airspeed, or CFM versus decibels, well, here it kind of falls back. It doesn't quite have the, it's not as noisy efficient as other fans, so it's a little bit on the noisy side. Compared against other fans, sitting right in the middle. It's just sitting just below the TLK12, which is overall a pretty good fan. Sitting above the TLG12, but there are plenty of fans that just perform better than it. At 100% PW fan signaling, upper middle, it's a good place for it to be. Outperforms the A12X25 in performance, however, it is noisier. So do take into account that. That CFM versus a decibel rating compared to other fans. Bottom middle with this kind of okay grouping. And once again, just the statement being okay is perfectly fine. It is, actually, let's go ahead and jump to that value section to see how good a value or bad a value this fan is, whether it's worth it or not. So first, a disclaimer about value proposition. It is just performance per dollar. It isn't a performance metric. A fan that might be absolutely terrible, if it's cheap enough, will look good on this graph. Also noted, in newer versions of this graph, I do have it ranked so that the bars line up more evenly. So it goes from best to worst. This is just a slightly older format video, so I apologize for that. The AF-125 is a good value. It isn't the best value, it isn't at the tippy top, but it is a very good value fan, especially when you start looking at other fans on this graph. So it's not bad. You do have to put up with the slightly higher noise levels, but if that's tolerable to you, then that's perfectly okay. And depending on your region, it might be cheaper or more expensive. So all caveats. When I was looking for it way back when on Amazon, that's how much it cost. At the 11 mark, noise normalized. Again, it's sitting right towards the top. Even at 100%, it's still doing quite okay. Making it, again, not quite that peak top value fan, but it's really pretty good. And since this was made, there's actually a new top value pick than the TLG12. Just shows how quickly I can get through these videos and update them. CFM testing, right near the tippy top. What's it, 4th place? Great place for it to be. At 100% PWM fan signal, 4th place again. So it's a good value fan. And through the CPU air cooler, doesn't quite have that same top ranking as we saw in the other ones, but still a very good value fan, even at 100%. So it might be worth a look if you're looking for a value option to fill out your computer case. I can't make those decisions for you. It is up to you to make these determinations. And that brings us to the end of the video. At the end of every video, I like to show off the raw data. The raw data does belong to me. If you're going to use it for your own personal use, that is perfectly okay. If you're going to use it in anything that is, quote, monetized or publications, journals, whatever, you do need to reference me in my channel. If I find out, I don't know, not nice. Anyways, if you got suggestions on ways I can improve my videos, I'm always welcome to that, and I'm always trying to iterate and improve the way I present data and improve things. It just takes a little bit of time to, well, implement this. We're seeing that this is being produced probably like a year after I've collected the data. If you got fans you want me to take a look at, please leave in the comment section below. I'll try to get my hands on it. But I'm starting to try to get fan companies to send me samples. If you're looking at ways to help support this channel, make it break even and be able to upgrade the testing methodology. The thing about joining me as a Patreon YouTube member, I know it's hard to give money, donate money, whatever you want to call it, to a random stranger on the internet, which I know I am. But if you just want to hit that subscribe button, that goes a long way in helping support this channel. And anyways, I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.